Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. First things first, I just want to warn you, if you are tempted and you do not wish to see cute travel watercolor palettes, click off the video right now. I don't want to enable anybody or tempt anybody that doesn't want to be tempted. Then again, if you are curious like me and you like to see what is fun and new out there, and this is something I haven't seen before, so I was pretty excited when I saw it because it was new, then keep on watching. I saw this online and it did not take me long to decide I wanted to buy it. I paid $25 for this on Amazon, and it is probably the cutest travel watercolor palette I've seen in the last couple of years. So without further ado, let's open up the Funto watercolor pocket set of 9 colors. I don't know anything about this brand. I've never used their products before, but I figured even if I don't like the paint, I thought the palette was unique enough to get a spot in my collection. So I've said it before, I collect travel watercolor palettes and I collect rubber stamps. Those are the two things that I enjoy collecting and I enjoy using them. They don't sit on a shelf like a action figure to be saved for prosperity. I do use them, I do enjoy them, and I cannot wait to use this one. You know, just like some people collect Fiesta ware or Barbie dolls or ceramic dolls or ceramics or whatever, I collect travel watercolor palettes. All right, I'm done justifying my purchase here. Okay, so in the box we have this beautiful velveteen pouch that actually is pretty well made. It opens and closes really easily, and it is it's finished fairly well. It doesn't seem to be fraying. It does feel pretty luxury. I was surprised. I didn't expect that. And then inside we have a carabiner. We have this little sketchbook clip, and we have this leatherette pouch. And what is in this? It's so cute. Look at this. It's actually quite well made. I was expecting to be disappointed, honestly. When I saw this online, I'm like, there's no way that is as good as it looks. But this is well stitched. I'm not seeing any issues with the stitching. Everything is well trimmed. Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks really nice. No smell to it. So I would say it's like it's a leatherette or a fine Corinthian leather, you know, like a fake leather, pleather, if you will. And the carabiner seems to be legit. I'm going to hook that onto my belt loop. I'm wearing jeans today. I can actually stick my leg in front of the camera. I got jeans on, so I can actually clip this to my belt loop today. I'm going to go visit my parents. It's Father's Day on the day I'm filming this, so I'll go down to visit my parents and do some sketching in their gardens, I think. And then this is the palette. Look how cute. It's a nice matte plastic, kind of olive green, totally giving me 70s vibes. And inside it folds out into 2 little leaves of mixing area, and there are 9 colors. I do not know about the paint. I didn't buy it for the paint. I bought it for the little, I love the idea of this clipping onto my belt loop, just being able to stick a couple water brushes on a sketchbook in my pocket and being off to the races. So that's what I bought it for. If the paints happen to be good, it's going to be great, but I figured for $25, the little carrying case and the palette was totally worth it, in my opinion. So let's grab some paper and swatch. Actually, we can swatch it right on the little card there. I don't know how good the card is, but we're gonna check it out. I'm just gonna use this regular synthetic watercolor brush, and we will see. So the first color is Yellow Light. I didn't pre-activate these, obviously. You saw me open them up. Well, it's nice and vibrant. And this swatch is just friction fit in there. It's not glued in or anything. Now, I went over the edges with the paint. It seems to be pretty transparent. I'll be using this for sketchbook work, so I'm really not worried about light fastness. Oriental Orange. Nice and vibrant. We've got Permanent Red. Ooh, it's kind of like a Naphtha Crimson color. That's really pretty. I'm being kind of sloppy so I can go over the edges and see if it's like opaque or not. Quinacridone Rose. Ooh, that's nice. I love it when companies add a swatch card. This is Lilac Purple. Maybe a little bit more there. It'll be interesting to see how these paint up. I don't think they don't look like they're the highest quality colors, but this is Cobalt Blue. That one's a little bit on the weaker side. Like I said, I didn't pre-activate them though. Then we got Ultramarine. Hopefully this is a good one because I use Ultramarine a lot. Oh, yeah, that's nice and vibrant. Then we've got phthalo green. Oh, with a typo. You want to look at that? Let's see if that will focus in. You can read that. There's a... Well, you know what? I'm not the best speller in the world, but I could tell that's not spelled right. Who am I to judge? Right? I bought it for the palette, not for the colors. The colors end up being all right. I'll be thrilled. And then we've got Payne's Gray. Now there's no brown. I'd rather have a brown than like a cobalt blue personally. But let's see if we can mix a brown easily. Let me just grab a watercolor postcard. These watercolor postcards are absolute garbage. So I'm trying to use them up, but they'll be fine for the purposes of mixing colors. So let's just see, how easily can we make a brown? One of the easiest way to do a brown would be orange and purple, or orange and blue. I'll do the Oriental Orange and the Ultramarine. We'll see what we get there. Oh, that's a pretty good brown. We can also do yellow and purple. I think the purple might be a little too blue. That's giving us a little bit more of a gray olivey drab. Let's do a little more orange. Let's do a little cobalt blue in there. I think the cobalt might be too weak. I might take the cobalt out or take out the imperial purple and add a burnt sienna. Ooh, that one's nice. A little bit of ultramarine to that, darken it a little bit. So yeah, we can make a brown pretty easily. Let's do just some regular color mixing. Let's do yellow. Let's do permanent red. And let's do ultramarine. Let's clean that off a little bit. I don't think we'll get a good green there, but I think we'll get a decent orange. Yeah, we get a good orange. I mean, you have an orange. We don't really need that, but get a decent purple there. And the green's nothing to write home about, but if I do the quinacridone, rose, and the ultramarine, that should give us a really nice purple. If I do the yellow with the cobalt, that should give us a pretty good green. That cobalt's weak. So I think the colors are fine. I'm going to use just the colors that are in this palette, but I may end up substituting. But let's do some mixes with that phthalo green, actually. Let's do some phthalo green with a touch of orange. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Let's do that on the mixing space. These pans are glued in, but I don't think it would take too much to, ooh, that's a pretty sap green. Oh, I like those colors. I guess that purple and that blue, if I'm gonna get rid of anything, that's what I'll probably get rid of. Let's try that color with a little bit of a lemon. Oh, I got a little orange in there. That's a nice bright spring green. I can make browns, but I think one of those might go, and I might put a brown in there, but I would almost get rid of those two and do a brown and do a phthalo blue or a cobalt teal or something. Let's see how well the palette, the paints stain. It's plastic, so I'm pretty much betting they'll stain, especially having phthalo colors on there. Apologies for the noise. I was so excited to to show you how it came out of the box. That and I really want to use it, so I didn't want to have to wait until like a work day to record this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this with me. It's Sunday, and I know I'm going to get it all stained up probably, so I wanted to show it to you pristine out of the box. But like I said, I use my stuff. So alright, so we got a little staining. I probably could clean it off with soap, but it's not bad. And of course I haven't used it all that much. We'll see how it goes. One thing I really like is that the there's like a little divot in there, so everything's going to fold nice and flat. Back up like that. I'm going to leave that out to dry, let that paint dry out a little bit before I close it. It shouldn't take too long. And then I'm going to paint with it in my sketchbooks. And when we come back, through the magic of editing, you can see how the paint's performed, and also how I'll tell you how I enjoyed using it, or if I didn't enjoy using it. And that way, hopefully you can make an informed decision, because I have a feeling that either these are going to sell out really quick or they're going to jack the price up. So right now, $25. Amazon hates that I tell people what I paid for stuff, but you know what? You deserve to know. Because as I'm reviewing this as a $25 product. If they jack it up to $80, I'm not going to be as keen on it as I am at $25, obviously, because I'm looking at the value. So I would just want you to keep that in mind when you're watching this video, because if you go and look at the product and it's like $60, then you might want to think, well, wait a minute. You know, Lindsay paid $25, she thought it was great. I don't know if it's good for $60. So I'll be back with all the information when I get back. I do like these are gonna be fun to play with. I'm really looking forward to this. And yeah, we'll see you then. All right, I've used this palette a bit, and I have determined that I don't like the paint inside. So I will show you some artwork that I did with those, but I'm going to take the paint out and do something with that. So first thing I want to do is get the swatch card out, and I also realized there's not enough mixing space, and the reason why this paint has to go for me is that when you don't have a lot of mixing space, you need to do a lot of the mixing on the paper, but this paint has absolutely no flow. What it reminds me of is the Jerry Q Arts palette that I don't know if you remember, I reviewed that many years ago. It was another one, actually, it was one that I bought for the palette. I need a ballpoint pen, here we go. I had bought it for the palette because I needed a palette, and it was like $12, and it looked like it was going to be really good for what I needed. And the palette was fine, the paint was not great, and then I think I turned the paint into like spray inks or something. I was just holding that to the light to make sure that I had actually gotten that on a piece of vinyl. So first thing I'm going to do is make a mixing area, and I don't want to add weight or bulk to that lid. I want to make sure everything's going to be able to close up fine, so I'm just tracing the swatch card on this scrap of white vinyl that I have. And I'm sure this will stain just like the palette, the white palette stain, because they're plastic, but that doesn't bother me. As long as I can get a good idea of my mix, I'm good to go. So I took my glasses off somewhere. I have no idea where I set them down, so I'm this is probably not the best plan. Plus, if I get tired of that, I can always take it out. I can always peel it off. So hopefully I can get that centered in there all right. Ooh, maybe I'll trim it a little bit more. Actually, you know what? Let me put a backing on here a bit so that I'll have a little bit easier time of trying to stick it in there. Yeah, I need to go a little bit smaller all around, I think. Ooh, that's going to stick pretty good though, I think. Oh, you know what I should have just done? I should have used my paper trimmer. Oh well. I'm going to use this piece for now. I can always replace it at the later date. There. Now, hopefully I'll have this in there pretty good and bubble free. Ah, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so now I've got a nice little mixing area on the top, and you know what, oh, I got bubbles. I might have to make a little pinhole in there. Come on, you. I feel like I'm trying to put wallpaper on something. Yeah, I'll deal with that later. All right, so let's look at the artwork that I did. So this was on the cheap postcard, and honestly, this was the most promising that paint looked the entire time I used it. Then I thought, well, I'm just going to go right ahead and use it in my cotton watercolor paper, my cotton watercolor page. And I did not like the way the colors did not spread. The colors just look flat on this really nice paper. I was really bummed out about it. But I thought, okay, cheap paint, often cheap paint goes better on cheap paper. So I grabbed my Travelogue handbook sketchbook and I just swatched them out here, and I was not loving that. And then I'm like, well, let me just do a couple quick little paintings here, just with the water brush, and just to see how the paint flowed. This is just a kind of island off in the ocean. Didn't like it. Did a quick little watercolor rose. That's how I test paint a lot, because I know how I like the paints to flow together, and this just wasn't it. And then I'm like, well, let me swatch it in kind of a rainbow order and see like how the blends look. And then I just did a few 2-color mixes down there, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like how the paint flowed. The paints are vibrant, but they just kind of sit there. They're dull as a stump, you know, not my cup of tea. I do think, though, they would be good on a coloring book page or on unsized paper like cardstock and stuff like that. So if you just want some portable color that you can add to like just plain old paper and have it sit on top of the paper and be vibrant, this will do the trick. But if you're trying to do more watercolor techniques on watercolor paper, it's not as good for that. Now this, I'm relatively happy with how this came out, but I started off with just a waterproof brown pen, sketched this little window from Monhegan Island from a photo I took the other day, and just, you know, painted it. I did some wet into wet. The colors do not move much. You might like that. I mean, if you don't like your paints to flow around too much. I think this is cute. I figured this will be a cute little greeting card. Maybe I'll send it to my sister or something. But yeah, I just wanted to give one final hurrah before I decided, no, I'm getting rid of the paints. I thought maybe I would even keep a couple of the paints in there, like the ultramarine blue is nice and vibrant, but just there's no movement, and I've got so much paint in tubes that I probably will never live long enough to use, so I might as well use the good stuff while I'm on this earth, right? There's a book called Essentialism, and I haven't read it yet, but I have read some, I've seen some takes on it or some videos about it. That's what made me want to check it out and read it. But I haven't yet. But anyway, there is a saying in there that says, don't make something fit if it doesn't fit. Don't make it fit to your purpose if it doesn't fit. Basically what it boils down to is don't force a fit. That's what it was. Don't force a fit. So don't force something to work for you if it clearly doesn't, especially if you have better options, you know. I mean, I'm used to forcing a fit because like I pick up furniture on the side of the road and I will paint it and then use it in my studio, or I'll, you know, that's how all my studio furniture is forcing a fit. It's all finding stuff from like my, you know, that is unwanted and using it for studio stuff. So I'm always forcing a fit. And a lot of times, I mean, if it works, it works. It's great if you're not that particular, but you know, I am particular about my paint, so I have so much to use up, so I might as well do that. So I'm going to peel all these out. I think I'll probably do that off camera because that's going to be tedious to watch. I found that trying to soak paint out is a fool's errand. That would take forever to dissolve this and so much water to dissolve it. You're better off just to pull out the cubes. If you do have another use for it, obviously you can use those cubes for something else. In the past, I've used the cubes for making spray inks. Like I'll drop it I'll take a bottle of water, a spray bottle, an empty spray bottle. I'll fill it with water, drop one of these in there, and just let them dissolve over time and use them for spray inks. I have plenty of spray inks. I don't need any more. I don't have any empty bottles that I want to do that with. You know, if you know the paint is non-toxic, you could give it to a teacher, to a child, that they could put in their palette, that, you know, or refill their Crayola palette or whatever. But I kind of, I don't know. I think it would be fine for that. It'd be fine for a coloring book situation, or, you know, something where you're not trying to learn techniques. But I think these paints would actually hinder most people that are trying to learn how to paint. And when it's a case like that, then I tend to just throw it away, because I don't want to make learning harder for somebody. You know, if you're just filling in shapes, you just want color on a page, that's a totally other thing. That would work fine for that, but for my purposes, it's not. So now I'm wondering how in heck am I going to get those two out, because they are underneath the hinges there, and I don't want to damage this beautiful palette because I bought it for the palette. I actually wasn't sure if it was going to come with paint when I got it, so that was kind of a little happy, well, I don't know, I guess it wasn't happy because I'd rather just have it empty and put what I want in it. That's probably why I like the portable painter so much. That's another thing. I always have such a hard time getting rid of something, you know, even if I don't like it and I'm not going to use it. I'm like, oh, I hate wasting it, but, you know, I don't want to waste my time using supplies that aren't really good. And I don't want to pass it on to somebody else and have them waste their time. So this one's probably going to be the hardest one to get out. Oh, here we go. That was an awful, awful cobalt blue. It's so weak. There we go. Okay, that actually wasn't too bad. So now let's see. Can I use pre-made pans in here? I don't think that I can. I think pre-made pans are actually just a little too big. I think each of these will hold a half pan's worth of paint, but I think that a half pan is too big, and this half pan's on the smaller side. It's too big, but I think these might fit. These and these have been revamped since this set. The set is no longer available because now they actually have proper half pans for this set, but I don't like all these colors, just too many, but I do like the Miliang paints. So I think, yes, I could put those in there. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do, but I could drop those in there and have a palette ready to go already. So I might do that. I put magnets on the back of those, but I could take out 9 colors and put those in there. That's an option, or I could just fill from tubes, which I have plenty of tubes. So I'll do one or the other. We'll see. So what I think, that's my swatch for those colors there. I mean, there's some beautiful browns. Yeah, there's some good colors in there I could use. That would probably be the easiest thing to do. But let me think on that, and then when I come back, I'll have this palette all set. I'll have the bubbles out of my mixing area, and then we will take a final look at it. All right, so I got these out. I washed out the thing just to make sure there was no residual color. I decided I'm not going to poke these bubbles with a pin because I don't want to make it so water can get underneath. That's fine. It'll be useful. It'll be workable. And looking at those colors, so I thought I did when I took this palette apart, when I reviewed it way back in the day, well, it was probably like a year ago, not that far ago, these were in little metal pans, and I took them out of the plastic casing so I could rearrange them. And I haven't really used them since I reviewed them, so I thought I could grab 9 colors from here and put them in the palette, and they have magnets on them, so I was thinking, well, I could glue magnets in the bottom here, but that kind of made them stick out a little bit too much, because right now they're perfectly flush. They're perfectly flush. I mean, they're almost perfect, but there's still enough room that I could pull it out and change them out, and I like that. And I put little swatches on the side of the pans just so I'd know what I had. So I like that. And then I was thinking, what if I could put some magnets on the back? If I had a magnet on the back of this, then I would be able to attach this to like my little palette board, or I could clip it to my sketchbook. Now this does have a clip with it. This clip right here came with it, but I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about clipping this to my, well, it's probably fine. It's probably fine, but I mean, well, I can do that, I guess. Especially since I added the extra mixing area. So I don't know. I'd always just kind of worry about putting stress on plastic. So I don't know. I have that as an option. I do like magnets, but I think what I'm going to do is just, for now, put in some of these half pans. And as far as colors, I think I'm just going to go with my, well, let's see. Let's pull out what I think will work the best. I definitely want a yellow ochre or a raw sienna. I love that color. I want a nice rich brown color. What do we have for browns? This one's also really nice. That's kind of a reddish brown. Oh, I like both of those. That one's nice too. Gosh, there's a lot of nice browns. I'll take that one. That's a pretty neutral one. That one is pretty though. And then I think I will, what's this one? Oh, that's pretty too. That's a nice deep brown. And then I'm going to want a nice bright red. Oh yeah, here. You know what? Did I put these in the order? No. I didn't know why I didn't make a swatch that was exactly in order. Probably because I swatched on the sides of the containers. It's like a Prussian blue. I do like a Prussian blue. I definitely want ultramarine. Is that my most ultramarine? Or is that a faux cobalt? That does look like a pretty good ultramarine. Oh, and there's a nice turquoisey blue. I could go with those two. And for reds, I do like to do a lot of botanical painting when I'm out and about. You know what? I think if I turn it this way, I can see the sides of my paints a lot better. Oh, you know what? I think this is actually ultramarine blue. That's probably like the hue. Yep, turn it this way and then I can see. That's more of a phthalo blue. Would I rather more of a phthalo blue or a turquoise? I think I'll do the turquoise because it's a little bit more green. I want a sap green. For my reds, let's see. I love a nice corally red. I'm a red girl, so I don't mind having an extra red. Some people don't like to have extra reds, but I don't mind it one single bit. Boy, there's a couple of really pretty magentas there. Which one do I want? Maybe I'll try this one. I need a nice bright yellow. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 2 more to use. I got 2 more I can do. I think I'll do, let's see, that lemon is a little fluorescent. I think I'd rather have this one. And do I want a warmer yellow or just that one yellow? Let's see. We've got a brown, we've got a yellow ochre, we've got a medium yellow, we've got an ultramarine blue. Let's see, we've got a sap green, we've got a phthalo turquoise, we've got an ultramarine blue. We've got a pinky red and we've got a more orangey red. Do I want a more just like bold warm red? 2, 4, 6, 8. I can pick one more. I can pick one more. What would be the best to choose? I'm debating on that one. I have so many pretty blues in there. Is that the one I want? Well, see, this is a great thing. I don't have to be committed. I can take them out whenever I want. Maybe a Payne's Gray. I'm usually not a huge Payne's Gray user, and I have 2 blues already. I don't really like to use premix purples all that much. I don't really want to have a white. What the heck, I guess I'll take a Payne's Gray. You know what, no, I think I'll take a bright red. Take a bright red, there we go. Okay, let's put this back in. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I think I'll start off with my bright yellow, then I'll do a yellow ochre, then I'll do my brown, then I'll do my sap green, then I'll do my turquoise, then I'll do my ultramarine. Oh, this is great actually, because the way those pans go, I can have them so they're not going to interfere with the little grid thing. Alright, let's make a new swatch for this. You're probably like, geez, I'm Lindsay. This is this is a bit much even for you. Yeah, this is cool. Then I can, you know, and I can audition a bunch of different colors, and then when I'm absolutely sure I like what I have, then I can decide to squirt paint in there. Okay, we can do a little swatch right in this sketchbook. Oh, shoot, I forgot to refill my water. That's alright. I got more painting to do. We'll refill it right now with my gallon jug. I don't have running water in my studio. I'm working in the basement, as you know, probably, if you've been following my channel for the last 14 years. I have a studio in the basement. I have no running water. It's not very fancy. But one day, when my darling children have moved out for good, my daughters are in college still, then I will take their room. We'll move back into our old bedroom and out of the addition. That's where we have our master bedroom now, and so much nicer. And then Is that the brown I want? Yeah, I like that brown. And then I will be taking the addition for my studio. Oh, look at that. So pretty. So much nicer. This is blue I'm not sure of. Oh, we're going to go with that blue. That's new. That's a Prussian blue might be a little bit more customary, but I think that might be kind of fun. That does look a little, it does look a little bold, doesn't it? I might have to change things up just for the, if I'm using this for landscape painting, but I don't know. Oh, I love that red. This is a fun combination. Oh, okay. I am pretty happy with that. So there, so I have revamped it, and maybe I'll just do a little imaginary landscape right here. I hope the camera's focusing. I'm not sure. I'm wearing my progressives right now, so who the heck knows what we got going on. Yeah, want to just yeah. I was gonna say, want to just draw a little bar, like a little square, but I'm just gonna do a little imagination. Oh yeah, I can tell this paint is so much better. It's not, and it's still not like an expensive paint. This paint is the Liang. But if you buy the set now, you're not going to get those smaller pans. They've actually upgraded to in half pot, half pans, so it's like 52 colors in these, and it's a tight fit. But they, oh, I think, you know what? I think I've got an issue here. Look at that, I got a scratch in there, so I'm not going to worry about. I'm not going to worry about that. Let me mix a little bit of purple in there. Yeah. Oh wow, that's pretty. Pretty colors. Not. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just playing. I mean, the proof will be in the pudding when I take this out hiking. We'll see. We'll see what I think. I love the little container that. That it has to hook on my belt loop, because I usually, if I'm hiking, I'm usually wearing jeans because, for one, it's going to protect you way better than leggings if you fall, and also then you have pockets, so you can stick your phone in a pocket, you can stick your whatever, you can have your phone, you can have your wallet in case you're going to stop somewhere, and it's nice to have a little bit of cash on you when you're out and about. This is good. I can already tell. And actually, I'm wondering, these probably won't stain my palette as badly as the other ones that were clearly a dye in a, like a gelatin, a dye in a starch, basically, is what the other thing had going on. Let me neutralize that a little bit. Let me take a little bit of the mixed purpley color, a little bit of the brown. Alright, I mean, we're not talking about a beautiful painting or anything, but yeah, this is going to work for me. This is going to work. Now let's see how those clean up on my palette. I'm happy with this. I mean, when I bought it, I knew that I wanted it for the palette. I didn't even know if it had paint in it, and I was paying that price for the palette. Just like when I bought the Cotman Travel field box, I bought that for the palette. I knew what Cotman paints were like. I knew what I was getting myself into, but I knew I wanted that for the palette. It was 20 bucks. And I do not regret that purchase either. Oh, yeah. I was just saying I should try mixing on the area up here. Let's take a little bit of yellow. I might get annoyed with the paints moving around, so I might have to use like a little glue dot or something. That's gonna be fine. To make them stay in one spot, but it might not even bother me. Now let's see how these flow. Nice flow. And I don't even think that of Liang or Pretty Excellent or Paul Rubens being the most flowy watercolors, but they do flow a bit, and that's going to suit me fine. That is going to suit me just fine. Let's take a little bit of turquoise, mix it in with that. Oh, that's going to make a pretty green as well. yeah, that's gonna work. That's gonna work just fine. So there you have it. I'm glad I bought this. It's already gone up $1 since I bought it last week. I just checked it this morning. The palette stains, and of course my vinyl stains that I'm putting in there, but I buy my palettes not only to collect them, because I do collect travel watercolor palettes. It's my collection, that and vintage rubber stamps. But yeah, I'm glad I got it. I like it. I think it's going to suit me really well, and if it's something you're interested in, I would say check it out. I think the price has already gone up a little bit. I wonder if alcohol would clean that off if I wanted to have it pristine. Not really. Magic eraser works pretty well, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it. Clearly, I could peel that out and put another piece in there if I want to. You can even use like the not dry erase tape. They make a dry erase tape that would work good for that. But I just didn't want to add weight or bulk. So the other thing I was thinking, I could always take a big magnet and put it on the back, and that might reach the magnets on the back of these pans and keep them from moving around and help me hold it to a board or something. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think this was a great buy. I think the quality of this is really nice. I was surprised because it looked really good online, but I'm like, is it really going to be that nice? So it could be that the reason this is really inexpensive right now is because they're planning on jacking the price up. I don't know. This brand Funto seems to have pretty budget supplies, pretty basic stuff. When I saw this, I just thought it was really unique because I haven't seen anything like this. The paints in here, when I first saw it, I thought they might be like the ones in the Art Nomad palette from Zen Arts that is no longer available, but I see it's a product from Art Secret. They're the white labelers for it, and the paints are not the same. I like those paints. Those paints are really inky and bright and flow really well. The ones that came in this were not great. I mean, they weren't. You could use them for certain applications. For my style, they just weren't going to work very well for me, but they might work well for you. But still, regardless, I do think that $25, $26, under $30, I would say is a good buy for this. You also get this little gold clip, and you get a velveteen bag, which is actually quite well done. Let's turn it inside out and see the finishing on it. It's just stitched. It's not serged or anything, but I'm not seeing any fraying. I mean, they didn't fold under the stitching there, but I don't know, maybe velveteen doesn't fray. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing any fraying. I'm not seeing any little specks of velvet coming out, but this could be used to hold water brushes or a small sketchbook so that you could have this on your belt loop and this in your bag. What I'll probably end up doing is just if I'm not going to be I mean, I'm going to use this hiking, so I'm probably going to use just bring a water brush with a good point on it, with a fairly big belly, and a sketchbook that will fit in my pocket, and this attached to my belt loop, and I think that works pretty well, and I'll feel like a hobbit hiking through Middle Earth in search of mushrooms to paint my whimsical little day. Don't we all want a whimsical little day? Isn't that what we do? Isn't that why we buy these things? Because we want that lifestyle? This could be a whole talk about consumerism and why you probably shouldn't buy this palette, but I don't regret buying this. I do think that I need to take my debit card information off Amazon because I did buy another mini little palette that's awfully adorable, but I really need to, it was unique. I didn't have anything like it, but I need to slow my roll a little bit. But it's summer, and the other palette I got, well, you know what? I'm going to show you. Okay, this is the other palette I bought, and I have a square one that's a little bit bigger than this that I've used quite a bit. It's actually, it wasn't as well made as this, and it was way more expensive. I paid like $20 for it, and it was a ripoff. But I painted the thing, I resined it, and it made it so it was workable. But it's about twice the size of this. This would be like the palette size, and the other side would be the mixing size. It's in, I don't even know where it is right now because I've redone my travel bag so much. And it's got this little clip here. I haven't even really used it, but actually those wells are bigger than I thought they would be. But the reason I got this is because I thought this would be a really fun way to audition colors, so I don't have to commit to filling a whole half pan. I could just put little dabs in these, take it out for a couple painting sessions, and see what I thought. This is surprisingly well made for $7.50, which is what I paid. And it came fairly quickly. I thought this was going to be, take me a couple weeks to get. I think I had it in a week, and yeah, $7.50. It's very well made. This is a plastic. It's not painted wood like the one I got before. It was painted wood, And so I had to use some resin on it because it was going to stain up like crazy. I think it did stain. I think I painted it again and then just resined it. But I thought this would be a great way to audition my colors, and then you can just clip this onto your sketchbook like that. I mean, very compact. So yeah, I do love the compact palettes, but I'll probably do another video on this one once I've used it a bit. Who knows if this will still be $7.50. I'll link to it as well in case you know that's something that you want. But yeah, I like that it's empty and I can put my own paint in there, and it's just like the size of a domino, like 2 dominoes stacked up. Heck, you could probably make one. You got dominoes? I don't know. You know what? You probably actually could if you took dominoes and used magnets, and you could put your paint in the little divots of the domino. It wouldn't be much paint, but I don't know. Maybe that would be probably not worth your $7.50 just to buy this one. But yeah, I'd seen ones like this around, and when I saw that, I was like, you know, this is much better quality than I thought it was going to be honest. But there's not much mixing space. I still think it'll be fun. Plus, I collect mini palettes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm really happy with this. Not happy with the paint, like I said. So if $25, $26 is your entire budget to buy some paints to actually paint with, I would say don't get this. But I would say get the Pretty Excellent set of 36. Honestly, that's what I would say. If you're looking for a paint, but for a good paint for that kind of money, the best you're going to get is going to be the Pretty Excellent / Mian paint. I'll link to that too. That goes on sale for $16 a lot, and it's 36 that I recommend. This would be the 52 set, which has a lot of colors that I don't think you necessarily would need, and it's more expensive. But yeah, if you just want the paint, that's what I get. But if you just, you know, if you're like me and you like these novelty things and you like to hike with your supplies and paint on the go, and you're ridiculous like I am, then if you're ridiculous like me, I 100% approve this purchase, and I give it 10 out of 10 stars. But yeah, I'm glad I got it. This is going to be fun. Can't wait to hike with it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy these reviews, please give me a thumbs up. And I generally post reviews Monday. I think this one's going to go up on a Tuesday because I was a little bit behind. But, you know, if you don't want to be tempted, obviously skip the reviews. I'm always curious to see what's out there. So even if I have no intention to buy, I like to watch reviews just to see what's new. But anyway, again, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.